Hey folks, I'm here with Jeff and Justin from LC Anglers Paddle Sports, and Jeff, you're a certified Torqeedo service
partner.
Service partners with the, you work on Torqeedo motors.
I do.
And I know that he does a lot of business with ultralights. And the first thing I want to say is that if you own an ultralight, if it's 5 years old, you need to get it to Jeff. Why? What are you going to do at 5 years? What's the 5 year?
At 5 years, I suggest the main cable replacement just out of general wear of being bent and flexed.
Okay.
But the general 5 year service is new caps, new seals, grease everything, check it over, make sure that there's no signs of water intrusion, there's no damages that are about to cause water intrusion.
You get water in there and it's done. It's trash. You got to buy a new
pylon.
I mean, the battery's still good, but so if you want to make sure that you don't have that sort of thing happen before the 5 year mark, I mean, because basically they're O-ring gaskets. Where are they? Here and there?
Compressed in between the caps.
These two?
Seals. Yep.
And then on the back here you have a seal where the shaft comes out. You want to replace the O-ring gaskets just because they dry rot with time. Every mini gaskets does.
Everything's susceptible to time.
But the thing that you can prevent water intrusion coming in right there, and we're going to pull this. In fact, why don't you do that? This is my kit. This is all I bring to make sure. I get WD-40 so I can spray on the plugs to make sure it has a good connection. I bring this little, and I think they sell it. Justin, you were saying,
for RC car wheels and stuff. That's all it is. You can get them on Amazon. 17 millimeter, right? Yep.
Go ahead and use that and pull this. I do this after every trip. And the other thing I carry, and this is an old, it's beat up, but it's still useful. An old prop that has some dings and chips. I just carry that just in case. They're hard to kill.
The way I do this, just to try and keep the hardware together, is I spin it out just to the point where the nut's almost off. Yep. And then pull the prop. That way when you pull that prop and it pops loose, everything doesn't go flying. Right.
If you do drop it in the water, you know what, say there's a bunch of muck down there, you know what helps find parts?
New parts.
New parts. Well, an easier way?
Spares.
Your little magnet for the kill switch.
Oh yeah.
Never thought about that.
Pick up that stuff. And
never thought about that.
Yeah. If it's muddy and mucky here, the magnet will get them. So, what are we looking at?
You're looking at the prop shaft, and you can't really see the rear seal, but there are two rear seals in here that are gapped.
Yep. And what are people looking for when they open that up?
You're looking for fishing line, especially braid. Braid is the worst enemy of these prop shaft seals because it is so thin, it will wrap up, pile up against the back of this washer, and start to force its way in.
Yep. So
that is the number one repair. That is the number one repair for these with water intrusion.
And you can prevent that by just, how long would it take you to pull that?
30 seconds, if that.
Yep. So put it back on there. Talk to me as you're doing that. I know another one that I've done a video on that says don't tension the cables. This. Let's go over to Justin's and look at this. What I like here, you can go ahead and lower it.
Okay.
Lower that down. As you lower it, he has some slack in this that allows it to absorb. What happens here at the top is if, say, his black pack was laying on top of this and it was already tight and it was in the up position, and when it went down, it really bent that hard in like a 90-degree angle. That causes damage to the wire, and you get the E30 error codes and you guys said you've opened up some of these and seen the damage to the wire.
And that's what
absolutely. We cut the insulation back, and
what's it look like when it's
the wire just starts to fray. Yeah. Over time of just being flexed back and forth at that tight angle right there at that gland nut.
Yep.
You've got part of the wire that's being held steady and part of the wire that's constantly working. Okay. And eventually it just starts to weaken those wires and they break.
Right.
And you start ending up with connection errors and
intermittent errors.
And the fix is
intermittent errors, because it'll work, it won't work, it'll work, it won't work, and eventually it'll quit altogether.
Right. So the key is to keep this, give it slack. Don't position your battery so far forward. And you have your battery in here, don't you?
Yeah, I got my battery in here, and it's not going to hurt to have a bunch of slack back there or enough. I mean, you're not going to hurt anything.
Jeff, grab the WD-40 and just let's just, for sake of demonstration purposes, we're gonna get some WD on the on Justin's battery and his data cable here. How you seat this is so important, that goes on straight.
Yep.
So we'll go over that here in a moment.
So what you got inside is you got little notches, or one notch that lines up to the plug inside, and that's where it seats every single time. And just a little bit, not much, and just kind of feel for that notch. Like you can feel when you're not in it, like you're not there, and then you'll see it drop in, and then just thread it in real nice.
Stop for 1 second. I can tell that you're good, but if you can do the one finger trick, if you can move it in with one finger,
yep,
you are threaded. But if you have to grab it and really, guess what?
Cross-threaded.
You are cross-threading and creating grooves in the threads, that it will find that cross thread every time. So if you have to force this, stop, back it off, make sure that it seats in there well. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, yeah, but you are correct. They anything plastic, you will cross thread it.
Threads or
so with this, so with your data cable, same way. It's got a little notch to line it up. It's in there, and it only goes one way into the plug.
Okay, let's see that.
And just a little spray, just to help it move in easier, keeps it corrosion.
And WD-40. Everyone says, "What about this? What about that?" I know that
you see that dropped right in.
It ain't broke, don't fix it. Use the WD.
Yep.
Period. End of story.
And you don't got to go super tight with them. Just.
Yep. And then you have a good connection.
Good connection, solid. You should have no problem with that.
The other thing I will tell you is a smart move is when you get your Torqeedo, do you guys carry the user manual with you?
Well,
it's on my phone.
It's on the phone.
It's on your phone. That's what I'm saying. No one's going to carry the user manual out on the water.
No.
And
it's on the Torqeedo website.
You go to the error codes, but you may be out where there's no service, or it's going to take.
When you go to the website, it's a PDF to download.
You PDF download, or just you've bought a Torqeedo Ultralight. Pull up the page that has the error codes. Take a picture, and I've got it in here somewhere.
Yep.
I won't do it, but it's in there. So if it's, and I've memorized most of them, but sometimes I get a weird one and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I've not dealt with that one. I got it. So take a picture of the page, whatever it is. Make sure it's the English version, not the German. Well, that's the German.
And if you have an error code pop up on your throttle, take a picture of it, write it down.
Because how many times you have someone that needs service says, oh, I think it was
this.
They
call and they say, oh, I've got an error code. Okay, well, what's the error code? Oh, I don't know.
Right. Taking a picture is a good...
Right. Some error codes may be something very simple. I can walk you through a quick fix and you're back on the water and rocking. Maybe something more entailed that you'll have to send it to me for repair or inspection. But having that error code for me helps out tremendously and could potentially save you having to spend the money to ship your motor to me for repair.
Right.
And it'd be a very simple fix.
Cool. All right, so let's do a summary. You should be carrying WD, 17 millimeter deep socket, a spare prop. What else? What else is going to keep them from from needing your service before they need your service at the 5-year mark? That's the critical thing.
Checking that seal, being mindful of where you're at on the water, just being mindful of your connections, your cable tension. That's the main thing.
How do people get in touch with you to schedule the 5-year service, or if they have maybe warranty work?
They can hit up my website, which is www.lcangler.com, which there you'll find my phone number, email. Phone number is going to be 803-761-9009. So you can call me and set it up. The only thing I ask is that if you do send something without notifying me first, please put your customer information and contact in the box with the motor.
Cool. I appreciate your expertise on this, and it's a great tool, and it lasts a lot longer if you take care of it. And
absolutely,
Jeff helps you with that. Appreciate it, man.
Welcome.